And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
So how did your last personality assessment go? Did you check out? Are you good? So many times in business over the years, we have people go through personality tests. We have them go through assessments to understand who they are and how they perceive things, how they view things, with the intent that we're trying to help them have a better understanding of what they could actually build on or change in their habits or behaviors to really connect with other human beings. And looking at how we communicate and how we relate to people is really a big focus of everything that we do in our lives, because it can either make us or break us. Dale Carnegie found that communication is the number one area of lost revenue in business, and it's the number one cause for relationships breaking up in our personal lives. So is it important? Absolutely. It rates right there in the top of things, as we are human beings need to communicate. We need to relate. And as you go through these assessments in your life and you assess, you put yourself in, sometimes you feel vulnerable when you take those assessments. You take them and like, oh, what are they going to find out about me, right? And other times you take them like, oh, this is really cool. I want to see what it says about me. What color am I? And you want to know what it says. And there's so many different quizzes, and maybe you've seen them in social media. And a lot of people like that, the fun stuff of the different things. Like I remember my daughter once had me take what they call the Pottermore quiz to see what house of Harry Potter I would be in. And you go through these questions and you pick these different things in the Harry Potter series, and then they tell you which house would you be in. Can you guess which house I would be in? For all you Potter fans, you probably can guess what house I would be in. Yeah, Ravenclaw. According to my daughter, that's the house that I'm in. But we go through these surveys and we go through these assessments, and what are we really doing them for? Well, that was just a fun assessment. My daughter and I just did it because she wanted to do it, and it's fun, and she happens to be a Slytherin. And she's proud of it. So as we go through these assessments, sometimes we just do them for fun, but sometimes they're really serious, and really serious looking at our ability to relate and lead other people, and what are our capabilities to do that. And if you think about this, it really starts with, when we do that assessment, we look at it, what's our viewpoint going into it? What are we hoping to get out of the assessment? And do we have the confidence to say, when we look at that assessment, hey, I can look at the pros in this and I can look at the cons, and I have the confidence to face myself? Because here's something critical. In all these years I've been working with organizations and leaders, big leaders, big corporations, small business owners, parents, everything in between, working with people trying to lead themselves. That's where it begins. It begins with you leading you. Oftentimes when they take they have you take assessment, they say, well, this is how you're supposed to adapt to somebody else when you're talking to somebody who's different than you. The challenge is human beings aren't wired for that. They're not wired to automatically go to, I'm going to be a chameleon for everybody else, and I forget about me and I have no ego to think about. I'm just going to think about everybody else first. There's a lot of people that really want to help people. I understand that, and that they're helping people because they choose to help people. Now, for the people who are saying, okay, well, you need to adapt to every person you talk to and understand who they are and stop thinking about you all the time and just think about them. Well, that's impossible for a human being to do. And so all of a sudden we start to have this conflict when we start to look at these assessments and they have us go through them in our workplaces. So what we want to do is focus on what can we do first and foremost for ourselves. What's it going to take to build the confidence in ourselves? Because prior to us ever leading another human being or changing who we are for somebody else, it requires that we be confident in who we are. We got to be confident in our beliefs and what we know and in our experience and what's formulated the way we perceive the world to be. So as you go through these assessments and you assess yourself in life, think about you for a moment. Really, let's think about you. When's the last time you just took some time to think about you? Really, just a few seconds. Think about you. Meditate for a few minutes on what makes you who you are. Are you proud of it? Where do you draw your strength from? Where do you pull your courage from? So your challenge out there is to look at opportunities to grow your confidence. And oftentimes I've worked with a lot of different people, and I've had people on my team and challenge them to do different things. In the field of communication, we're always working on our ability to expand our range, our tone, our tenor, all these different things that we do in communication to get our point across, not to mention the mental game, of course. But I've challenged people to do things like sing in their shower, sing in their car, go do karaoke, try something new today. Ask people questions next time you're out shopping. And every time you do these things, your confidence will build. And when your confidence builds, it gives you the ability to then build other people's confidence. Now go make it happen.